What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, or just gentlemen? I don't know who watches these videos, but welcome back to the Minnesota Mafia channel. And yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. This is not Madden the NFL 26. No, this is different. This is MLB The Show 26. This is the little extra or just extra project I've kind of been alluding to. I wanted to do something different on the channel, kind of something combined with the Madden series because I do play a lot of sports games. So we have an MLB The Show franchise series. Yes, I know the game has kind of been out for like 3 months now, but we're finally getting the first episode underway. I've been kind of excited to play some MLB The Show. I've been playing MLB The Show since like 20. There are a few games I did miss, and it was way before I started doing content. But this is a new series I want to do. Hopefully you guys are excited for this series. I know I am. I love playing MLB The Show. It's been very enjoyable. It's a different experience versus Madden. I'm not as versed and knowing about the MLB versus not the NFL, but I know a little bit here and there. But by the title of this video, you kind of already know what team we're going to be going. We're going to be going with the Los Angeles Angels in this franchise. Thought it'd be pretty fun to go with the team, basically with a full rebuild. Now we're going to do this series a little bit different than Madden. Obviously, in Madden, there's only 17 games to play. You play every single game. But here, there's like 9 times that. So instead, we are going to be taking advantage of the custom game entry thing in the game where we can jump into the game to every now and again. We're not going to do it for every single game. Some games are going to be completely skipped. Some games you will jump in and play. And other games we'll play full games of. I still don't really know how I want to go about this series. It's going to be a little bit different, obviously, from Madden. It's going to be a slight work in progress. But I think that's going to be the fun part. With Madden, it's a little bit easier because, like I said, you can play through every game. But here it's a little bit different. MLB, because there's so much to kind of look at. But I'm excited to get this series underway. I think the plan is really to go through about a month, maybe 2 each episode, at least for the first few years when we're rebuilding, and then maybe progress through that at that point. But again, it kind of just depends because I want to get through a lot of these seasons pretty fast. I don't want to take too long, especially with having doing this Madden series where it's taking essentially forever because it's a slow burn, and I don't mean for it to be that way, but it kind of just happens. But I promise the content for these, I say it all the time, is going to be a lot more consistent. And we'll point out I do like this little cutscene for franchise. I don't know if they had it last year because I didn't play Madden or MLB Show 25, but this is pretty cool. But more on the Angels team. If you're someone who's from LA or a fan of LA teams, like the Dodgers, I think the Knights even, you got the Los Angeles Lakers even, there's a team I'm forgetting, the Rams, you're probably a fan of those LA teams, but a team that you probably forget about are the LA Angels. And if you're wondering why, it's because they absolutely suck. I mean, there's no question about it. The leader of this team is none other than Mr. Mike Trout. I sometimes like to call him Mike Fish. And he is the longest tenured LA Angel on the roster. 34 years old. He's been on this major league team for, I believe, about 14 years. His stat spread is pretty solid. He can still hit the ball pretty well. You can expect him to maybe get about 20, 25 home runs on a season, maybe pushing 30 with the amount of power he's got and the way he can hit the ball. His outfielding numbers are still pretty alright for his age. Obviously, they are going to get worse because he's not as fast as he used to be and not as consistent as he used to be. But looking at his stat spread, last year he didn't play. What I say last year? Last year he didn't play a significant amount of games. He did hit the ball pretty decently well. He has suffered through injuries here and there, but not too many. Last year it was solid for him, but as a team in general, didn't really play all that well, and I think it goes to show. Has a solid WAR. If you look at his career, he's been on his team for about 16 years now. Ignore the 2026 stats. This is just coming really late. And in those 16 years, he's been to the playoffs once. That was back in 2014, where they ended up getting swept 3-0. I forget by who. And he hit 1 of 12. So as good as Mike Trout has been in his long tenure as the Angel, he has had 0 playoff success. He's only been to the playoffs once, and he got swept. And if you look at the Angels altogether, they've only won the World Series one time in their entire career, entire tenure. I will also point out, because Mike Trout has been to the playoffs since 2014, this team hasn't been in the postseason in over a decade. So Mike Trout is kind of one of those players that it's kind of like a Charles Barkley situation where he's really good, but does not have the playoff success to back it up. And him being as old as he is, he might not get to that point. Now the plan, obviously, and the big question is, what do we do with him? Do we trade him now and try to get some pieces with him and make him push him to a playoff team, or do we hold on to him and try to win with the LA Angels? The Angels did have quite the teammate. Yeah, I hear he's pretty good, Shohei Ohtani. And when you're a two-way player like him and you're launching the ball the way that he does on the bat and pitching the way that he does, as an LA Angels fan, you wonder what the hell they were thinking. I mean, he hit 50 home runs last season. What, are you ever going to see a pitcher do anything like that? Probably not. So a lot of Angels fans have probably shifted to being Dodgers fans. It's kind of how it goes in LA when you have two teams in your league. But I bet the Angels probably regret losing him. But there are a few bright spots on this team, which we'll get into. This episode is really going to be talking about the roster and getting at least one game in. But one of those top spots is Zach Neto. He is in his mid-20s. He's only played 3 years of Major League Baseball, and they're pretty solid overall. He's batted the ball pretty decently well to a sub 250. He's not bad. He is more of our infielder. He is a guy who is going to play very consistently on the field. He has 1 year arbitration, so we do have a bit of team control with him. Now another player is Jo Adell. Jo Adell, not really so much of an outfielder, but he excels in his batting ability. He hit for close to 40 home runs last season. A huge jump between 2024 and 2025, so we're expecting him to be able to maybe maintain that same pace. If he can, his WAR is not really the best. But the rest of his game is to be desired. It's not terrible, but it could use a bit of work. We want him to be a more consistent outfielder, be able to hit the ball outside of hitting home runs. Our starting catcher is going to be Logan O'Hoppe. He's been on this team for quite some time now, another mid-20-year-old. He's not a super consistent bat. We're relying on him more to be on the defensive side of things. This team is really going to be weak in a lot of areas. We're going to talk about that more as we get through this. Solid WAR, but nothing really to be supremely amazed about. He's got 2 more years of team control, but after that, can't decide what we're going to do with him, and he's not a super consistent bat. Nolan Chanel is next up. He doesn't hit the ball all that well, at least on the power side, but can hit for solid contact. He batted a little over 260, so we can trust him to get it done behind the plate when we need him to. He's probably going to be our more consistent first baseman. He's only 24 years old, so he's got room to grow. I'm pretty excited for him. Another player I'm really excited for, Christian Moore, our second baseman. Doesn't have a lot of years in the majors. He only has C potential. I think that can grow over time if he plays a bit more consistently. We don't really have a whole lot of information on him because he has not played that long in the majors. But he's 23. He's got room to really improve, and I think he will. Josh Lowe is one of our other outfielders coming from the Tampa Bay Rays. He's more of your average, get the bat to the ball kind of player, not really going to hit for anything crazy in terms of percentage and in terms of home runs. Just your guy that's mostly going to hit for solid contact, maybe get a few base hits, can play some okay defense in the outfield. He is one of our few lefty bats on this roster that we don't really have a lot of versatility on this roster in terms of righty-lefty splits. One of the older players on this roster is Travis d'Arnaud. He is at the age of 37, coming from Atlanta 2 years ago. He did play for the Angels last season, and he was okay, but 9 out of 10 expect him to be the backup catcher. I mean, batting under 100 is not great, so I'd still expect him to kind of be the backup catcher and not really do much. Now here's a guy I am pretty excited about, and that's Jorge Soler. He delivers the Soler power. He is a former World Series MVP, so he's got a resume on him. But what you're going to get out of this guy is one thing and one thing only, and that's contact on the bat. He can hit for some solid power, but he is 34 years old, similar to Mike Trout. So he's not going to age that well. He's not going to get much better. And realistically, you're going to expect him to really just be able to hit the ball hard, and that's about it. He's making a lot of money. He's a free agent next year, but he could be one of our few trade targets if need be. Kieran Paris, don't really have much information on him. He can hit the ball decently well, but again, he's one of those players that we're going to focus mainly on defense and probably more of a bench role behind guys like Zach Neto and Christian Moore. So don't expect Kieran Harris to play a lot. There's a possibility that he may end up being more of a platoon player, or maybe someone who may not even make the Major League roster. Another guy on the list, Yon Moncada. He is another one of he's actually a switch hitter, which gives a lot of versatility. He does come from the White Sox a few years prior. He can hit the ball decently well. He's not the hardest hitter in the world, but I do got some faith that he can deliver some form of offense on this team. Then there's Jose Siri. He is on the AAA team. What he's really going to excel at comes from his outfielding ability. As you can see, he's got an 84 rating in terms of outfielding in general, but don't expect him to be consistent on offense. Last year, he played very little with the Mets, and the year before he played with Tampa Bay, but did not do all that well. He batted way under 200 back in 2024. So I don't really have a lot of high hopes for him, especially with the spread in outfield that we really have. For guys like Jorge Soler and even Joe Adele, I don't know what the outfield's going to look like. Then there's Bryce Teodosio. He is a little bit younger than Jose Siri. His outfielding is about just as good, and arguably even better than Jose Siri's, but he has a worse bat. And on his roster, we're not really sure what we want. I mean, he does have a little major league experience, but compared to Jose Siri, it is very little. So they might end up competing for who's going to end up starting on the major league roster this year. Now we'll shift to the pitchers, and our number one overall pitcher is Yusei Kikuchi. The former Toronto Blue Jay. Last season was not an entirely terrible year. Close to a 4 ERA. He hasn't been super consistent as of late. In the last 4 years, he has had an ERA of over 3.5. 7-11 is not a pretty record, but I wouldn't say his season last year was completely terrible. The guy I'm most excited about in the pitching squad is Grayson Rodriguez, the former Baltimore Orioles. The Baltimore Orioles decided not to hold on to Grayson Rodriguez, and the Angels took a chance, and maybe it's a good chance to build on something pretty good. He is still in his mid-20s. He's still got a lot of years coming up his way. He wasn't terrible with Baltimore last season, but he hasn't had the growth that maybe the Orioles were looking for. He does have 4 years of arbitration, so we have him under team control until he's about close to 30. Then there's Jose Soriano, 27-year-old out of the Dominican Republic. He's got big potential. He's a 77 overall. I'm pretty sure I just said that. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I did. But in my opinion, he's more of your average pitcher. Not someone who's going to excel at getting a whole lot of strikeouts. That's not really what I'm expecting. But he's someone who's kind of going to be in the middle in terms of being our starting pitcher / relief pitcher, if need be. Then there's Reed Detmers, one of our few relievers. He is a starter, but he could end up being one of our relievers if need be. He's not super consistent. 11.31 K per 9 is pretty ugly in the standards that we need these pitchers to be at, because our pitching rotation is probably one of the worst in the entire league. So expect Reed Detmers to probably switch in between the two. Now, if you have a super young player, he would be considered a rookie. It is Mitch Ferris. He's only a 67 overall. Not expecting him to be anything supremely crazy because he is super young. He is the low overall. He does pitch lefties, which is pretty solid, but most righties can hit well against lefties, so it's going to be a pretty decent experience with him. Now we've got Tyler Brunner. He is our only top 100 prospect. He is outside the top 50, which is pretty promising. 64 overall. We don't have much info on him. His stats and numbers do look pretty impressive. He's likely going to start maybe in AA and work his way up. He might start in AAA. We'll have to kind of see what the rest of the roster really looks like. But 9 out of 10 will probably be in AA, but he is right now the only guy who can rely on prospect-wise. Because like I said, he's the only top 100 guy. Now there's Drew Pomeranz, who is one of our bullpen pitchers. He's been on a lot of teams, San Diego, Chicago, just to name a few. And with Chicago, he played a little bit, not too much. I do like his numbers. Is that going to carry over to this year? I do hope so. With the lackluster pitching rotation we do have, he is older, so he is going to be a free agent. Robert Stevenson is another guy. He is 33, so the pitching rotation does have a lot of age. Yusei Kikuchi, Robert Stevenson, Drew Pomeranz, they all are over the age of 30. And They don't have much years left, so the pitch rotation 9 out of 10 is going to change pretty heavily next year. So don't expect a lot of these guys to be on this roster coming next season. I'll be honest right now, I'll just say it. And then go to the closing position is Kirby Yates. The biggest issue with Kirby Yates is he is 37 years old. So he's gonna take a hit, he's gonna regress, and he's probably not gonna be on this team next year because he might end up retiring, who knows. But on the Dodgers, of course on the Dodgers, he didn't play out that well versus or how he played with the Texas Rangers. He was a lot better with Texas, so it might be a hit or miss year for him. Like I said, his age is gonna catch up to him. He's gonna get worse throughout the year. So is he gonna be our more consistent closer? Possibly, possibly not. That kind of just depends. We gotta go with the flow. He can pitch really well. He just has to prove it. Did I say it was 37? Well, I might be lying. I don't know. But Ben Joyce, right now he's on the major league roster. He can pitch pretty well against lefties. For a righty pitcher, that's actually pretty good because lefties can excel against righties. But not super consistent against righties. He will not be on the major league roster. I'm just gonna say this right now. He is going to be with the minor leaguers at least to start the year. Like I said, if Kirby Yates ends up playing bad or regresses to a point where maybe you don't want to start him anymore, then we'll give Ben Joyce that opportunity, especially since year one is going to be a figure it out year. He does have a few years of arbitration and team control, so we do have him on hold basically for the entire year or for quite some time. I'm hoping he can progress pretty well throughout his tenure. Anthony Rendon. Now he's a 55 overall with C potential, and he's not going to be playing really at all. There is one good reason why I kind of brought him up, and that's his contract. He's making $35 million this year. He's a free agent after the fact, but we're stuck with this contract basically regardless of what we do. We can't trade him because no one's going to want Anthony Rendon, and plus I want my trades to be realistic, so it doesn't really make any sense. But you see here, he's making the second most, only behind Mike Trout. And then there's big contracts like Travis d'Arnaud, Jorge Soler, Robert Stevenson, just to name a few. It's a lot of contracts for guys, big contracts for guys that I don't really like. But unfortunately, for now, unless we can make moves around the league, we're going to have to roll with a lot of these moves. But I did kind of look through the top 100 prospects. Connor Griffin, obviously number one. Robert Urena doesn't even make the top 100. As I said, we only have one in the top 100, which is pretty crazy. We're not the only team. We're actually one of 5 MLB teams who has one team, one player, only one player in the top 100. You see Tyler Bremner is ranked number 52, so he is just outside the top 50. Not super low, which is pretty good. Like I said, I think Tyler Bremner has some promise, and he definitely might not make it to the major roster this year, but next year I have high hopes with the pitch rotation. Definitely seeing a huge change. Like I said, it's gonna be a huge change between this pitch rotation and the pitch rotation we'll have for season 2, and probably there on and so forth. And maybe trades, because trades are gonna happen this season. I don't know, which the whole trade thing we'll probably get into next episode, because the trading is a lot different this year than it was the year prior. Now for the sliders, these are what the sliders are going to look like. If you want to pause the video and copy them, you can, but I'm pretty sure that people are going to have better sliders than this. I want trades to be not as frequent because there are times the AI will make dumb trades, so I kind of just have that a little bit low, but I want trades to happen because I want to see how the new trade system works and see if it's any different. For pitching, I kind of want it to be, I kind of want starters to play a little bit longer because they don't tend to. And with batting, I want fouls to be way less frequent because a lot of times you'll go deep into bats in foul with a lot of fouls. It'll probably be like 15, and we don't want that. That's too many. So yeah, that'll be the sliders. They might change over time, but we'll see. So we did sim halfway through spring training because we're not going to show our spring training this year, and a few noteworthy players. Most of the players on this team are going to be in the majors. Logan O'Hoppe didn't really pitch or bat on that well. Also Peraza, who we didn't talk about, struggled. Bryce Teodosio, he does have 2 home runs and 4 RBIs with 5 steals, so it's pretty impressive. He's showing off that speed in spring training. Jorge Soler, he was all right. Not to mention Nolan Chanel, Mike Trout were pretty okay. I mean, we're expecting Mike Trout to play decently well, Nolan Chanel as well. Christian Moore batting .310 So he's definitely high on my radar as a starting lineup. Vaughn Grisham, we didn't talk about. Anthony Rendon's played very little. Kieran Paris expected, I kind of expected him to be right there. He's not doing all that great. Then for the pitching, Yusei Kikuchi is our ace, and he's showing his stuff. Reed Detmers, he's had a bit of a struggle fest. Robert Stevenson doesn't look too bad. Jack Koshinowick, sorry for saying his name wrong, who we also didn't talk about. He's been pretty okay in spring training. There's Jose Soriano through 10 innings. He's been hit or miss. Grace Rodriguez with 11 Ks through 10 innings. Pretty impressive stuff for the former Oriole. Mitch Ferris has been fine. Drew Pomeranz is not allowed to earn run yet. Just to kind of name a few of the names, Ben Joyce has been pretty interesting. Through spring training, we were not too bad. I mean, at least not where I expected us to be. We were 12 and 19, so that's way under 500. And actually, it was the second worst team in the Cactus League, so I guess we were way worse than I had thought. Well, not way worse, like, 'cause I thought we'd be the worst team, because I think we are easily one of the worst teams in the entire major leagues. But I mean, it wasn't crazy. Throughout the rest of spring training, there are guys like Zach Neto who played pretty solid. I did kind of want to look at the game by game stuff because I think those are pretty cool. Nolan Chanel hit quite the cold streak near the end of spring training. He took a bit of a cold streak even in the middle. Mike Trout doing Mike Trout things. He didn't really have a home run, but he doesn't really need to. Yohan Moncada was solid. Joe Adell, he wasn't as good as I hoped he would be. Soler, you expect him to hit for power. He did exactly that. Oswald Peraza, inconsistent batting, but 11 RBIs, so a bit of a mixed bag. Bryce Teodosio didn't do much after halfway through spring training. We do shift the rosters a little bit to let other guys play a little bit more. Golden Hoppy was solid. Christian Moore finished off strong. His batting average is a little bit lower, but not the worst thing in the world. Karen Paris wasn't great. Even Guzman wasn't amazing like I kind of expected him to be. For the pitchers, Kikuchi finished off strong, was easily the best pitcher on the roster. Kachinowick, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, was actually pretty solid. He wasn't really on my radar, but he's someone we kind of had to eye. Stevenson was okay. Jose Furman and Chase Stilseth, they were not terrible. 4 holders for Stilseth. Detmers was inconsistent. 12 innings and only 14 Ks with the high ERA. Out Gary was pretty solid. Alec Manoa was man. Ben Joyce showed his stuff through 5 innings, 3 Ks. Drew Pomeranz didn't allow a run. Jordan Romano struggled. Grayson Rodriguez was pretty decently good through a few 21 innings at 24 Ks. Mitch Ferris still couldn't really figure it out. 21 ERA. So now we have to figure out the 26-man roster at this point. And obviously, you got guys like Yusei Kikuchi, Grayson Rodriguez, Mike Trout. Just name a few guys that we know for a fact are going to be in the Major League roster to start the year off. Obviously, with the Major League roster, regardless of what we have it at, it can change. It's subject to change. Injuries do exist, and players do play bad or play really good, whether it be in the majors or the minors. So rosters are always subject to change, regardless of what you start things off with. So I am pretty much just gonna skim through the changes that I made. Walbert Urena is going to be sent down to AAA. Same with Caden Donna. He's going to be sent down. I think he has a incentive, but we're not really going to focus too much on that. Same out of Gary. I was considering keeping him on the major roster for now. He didn't do all that bad. He was pretty impressive in spring training, but I opted to send him down to AAA. Let him build things up in the minors, and maybe later this year he can kind of figure it out. Same with Vaughn Grisham. I just don't think he really fit the bill, especially at second base, because we're stacked in the infield right now with guys like Paris and Moore. Although Paris don't have high hopes for him. Now Anthony Rendon. Now we could not send him down to AAA or any minor league because of a lot of things. Because he does have too many years of major league experience, or I forget what it's called, Major League Service or MLB service, whatever you want to point it out as. But we decided to designate him for assignment. I think that just makes the most sense. He does have to leave the team in order for it to really work. Otherwise, we do still have to pay him, but we're just gonna have to take that hit because we don't want him on the Major League roster anymore, and there's no point in really keeping him. Doesn't make sense. For y'all, feel I was a little mixed. Bryce Teodosio was okay in spring training. Matthew Lugo we did send down. And we also sent down Jose Siri. So Jose Siri is going to be on the minor league roster. So this is what the lineup is going to mostly look like. For the most part, we're going to have guys like Trout, Moncada, Neto, Adele start. Jorge Soler is 9 out of 10 going to be our just designated hitter, so he won't play. We're going to try not to play him too much in the outfield because he is one of our worst outfielders. Teodosio is going to basically play mostly in the outfield. Or Josh Lowe, one of the others, really going to take that spot. We trust in Teodosio's speed. I'm not expecting him to hit for anything amazing, but you never know. I mean, he could. Nolan Chanel is going to be our first baseman. Neto's going to be our second baseman, or really a shortstop, sorry. And then for the pitching, Yusuke Kikuchi, as I said, is going to be our ace. I'm contemplating putting Rodriguez as number 2 or 3. I think he'll stick at number 3 for now. And Detmers is going to be as our number 4, but these are subject to change. Alek Manoah can start. He could. Right now, we're not. Mitch Ferris could also, but we're going to leave it at that for now. And the fifth spot is going to be the new bullpen game option. This is new in MLB The Show 26, where you can just have a full bullpen game. So that'll be our fifth option since I don't trust in a lot of our pitch rotation. But our first game of the year and only game of the episode will be against the Houston Astros, and they're stacked. Jordan Alvarez, Carlos Correa, Jose Altuve, Hunter Brown, just to name a few of the players on this team. Jordan Alvarez is easily one of the best. And the Astros have won a World Series. It was back in, I'm probably going to get this wrong, 2022 or 2021, one of those years. We do have to play against Hunter Brown in this game. So a little worrisome, but I mean, it's not going to be better than a lot of other guys that we could play. But I mean, worst comes to worst. Now, as I was looking through the prospect list, I mentioned that there were 5 teams that had only one top 100 prospect, and the Astros were another one of them. Xavier Nayans is at 87. Now, the difference is the Astros are a lot better. They don't really need a whole lot of top 100 prospects, and I will tell you right now that I think we have easily the worst prospect list in the entire MLB, just because we suck on top of having only one top 100 prospect. But I guess that's up to more your interpretation. I think we suck. But as usual, I'm gonna do my own commentary for these games. I don't have the commentary on because I'm pretty sure you guys want to hear my awesome, beautiful voice, but that's up to you guys watching this video, because maybe you do. But we're gearing up for opening day as the Astros will host the LA Angels, the first game of the MLB show. The show, the Angels franchise. I'm really excited to get this thing underway. I know I mentioned it earlier, but I'm excited to get back into some baseball. Haven't played a whole lot of it as of late. Wanted to get the new game to really push this franchise and push my content, because I think I need a new, outside of MLB, I need something new. Looking at the projections, they think Mike Trout's going to hit more home runs than Adele. And so Adele might take a step back. Mike Trout's going to have it easily the highest 4 because he's just that good. And Zach Neto having more stolen bases than maybe Bryce Teodosio. That just comes down to how much Teodosio plays. And Nolan Chanel having the highest batting average on the team. I could see Mike Trout might be just about there, probably 240 if I had to guess, because his age might catch up to him. But who knows? But we should have fun this year, even if we're going to probably lose. And Hunter Brown is going to lead off in this game. A 12-win record. He has a sub-2 ERA, 2.4 ERA, about in the middle. And he's got the ability to pitch for strikeouts. About almost 1/4 of his at-bats usually result in strikeouts. Our first guy is going to be Zach Neto. He's going to be probably the leadoff batter for a majority of this season. Obviously, these things are subject to change. As 1-1 count, Neto will hit it to the right side. That goes through for a base hit to lead off the game. And we're looking for him to be the spark to start the game, and even down the line, just basically to get us on base, get things going. And now our switch hitter, Moncada, hits it in the same spot, another single. And we got runners on first and second with no outs. So good lead off for LA Angels, already getting the offense going. Because now we got Mike Trout, Mike Fish. Don't want to go up against him. And Brown will end up walking him, so the bases are now juiced. Runners in every spot. And this one hits the right side by Moore. That will be caught. But there's enough room, and The runner will score, Netta will get to home, and Moncada will head to third. So runners in the corner, only one out. For Joe Adele, our power hitter, up the middle. The play is made. Double play is there. And that will close out the first. And after the hot start, the Angels will only end up with one run. The defense saving the inning with only 2 hits. Now here comes our ace, Yusei Kikuchi. And we're looking for him to kind of have a bit of a turnaround. 7-11 is not the story, but it's not what you want to see at your ace. Hopefully he can improve his record for one of his final years in the MLB. First guy we're going up against is Jeremy Pena, who's going to hit it to deep right center. That's going to be caught for out number 1. The Astros have a way better offense than we do looking at the projections. A lot of guys are going to hit close to 250 or close to over 250, except the last 3. Isaac, I'm going to get his name wrong. Paradis, I'm probably got his name wrong. As well as we're going to hit that well. But here comes Jordan Alvarez, the scariest bat on this team next to guys like Correa and Altuve. In the 0-2 count, swinging a miss. As that's out number 2 and K number 1 for Yusei Kikuchi. That's his Jose Altuve. Next up, 1-2 count. And you get another strikeout. Caught him looking on the fastball. And 2 outs for Kikuchi in the first inning, and it stays 1-0. No hit for the Astros. And now we're here to the Soler power. It's Jorge Soler. Where he's probably best at is actually hitting the ball and really nothing else. 2-2 count. And it's a swing and a miss. Looked like it could have been out, but no call. Don't try to challenge it. That is also a new thing in MLB Show 26. As Teodosio gets plunked in the thigh, so he will head to first. Now it's Nolan Chanel next up. And 0-2 pitch. Their 0-1 pitch is a strike. He swings through on the low slider. I don't know if it's a slider anymore. And then Teodosio is going to try to steal second, and he will. So runner in second, avoid the potential double play. First on base, at least for us, of the season. Chanel still up to bat and swinging a miss on the high fastball. And that's K number 2 for Hunter Brown. Now, sorry, it's the starting catcher Logan O'Hoppe. Saw it last year. Probably gonna do the same this year. That's what I'm expecting. I'm not expecting Travis d'Arnaud to play a whole lot. It's 2 outs, 2-0 count. This one will dribble to the second baseman, and the play is gonna be made, which will close out the Angels side of the second. As we head to Houston's side, Isaac Paradis. Let me know if I'm saying the name wrong, because I'm positive I am. Good lord. With the 0-0 count for Kikuchi, he's going to swing. It's going to pop to about second base. It is going to land, so it is a base hit. A blooper to in between the outfielders and second baseman. So there's the Houston Astros' first hit of the game. And maybe now give them a little bit of momentum. As Diaz swings through, that will get through for a base hit. With no outs on the Angels side. So Houston with a little bit of momentum now. Early in the game, they needed to try to tie the game up. There's Carlos Correa. He played for the Twins for a little bit. That was going to go to the third baseman, to second and to first. So a double play. The runner will head to third. Moncada with a really good play from third. And now the getting out of the inning as possible. Is that one a slow roller in the infield? Play is made and ends the third inning. And nothing for Houston. That was second. I'm stupid. I can't read. But anyway, it's an empty inning for the Angels through the top of the third. So we're going to see them do anything like that when there's nothing going on. So get those bets the whole entire game. Jake Myers, low pitch. It's another roller to second base. And right now the offense isn't really getting much for Houston. It is still early, but right on, he runs. It's a 1-0 game. Kikuchi pitching to Jeremy Pena again. 1-2 count, and is a strike on the slider. That one looked close. They're going to rule it a strike, and Houston's not going to bother a challenge. So closing out the third, it's still 1-0. Still got 2/3 of the game left over. Top of the fourth. That one up the middle almost hits Brown, and Christian Moore with a base knock to lead off the inning. Angels looking pretty solid so far. They only got the 1 run, but I mean, they're getting the bat to the ball at least. Here's Joe Adele, 0-1 count, goes to the left side. Will it get past the left fielder? It will almost. It is a base hit, but Moore is now at third. So runners in the corners. As that one will be a slow roller again, and it will score the runner at second, or from third, sorry. So it is a 2-out RBI, 2-out score by Soler. Now see what Teodosio can do on the 0-2 pitch. That one will hang to the right side, but it's easily caught by the right fielder. So the Angels only managed 1, but now it's a 2-0 game. The Astros were doing absolutely nothing at the bottom of the fourth, and the Angels would do the same at the top of the fifth. As that ends the fifth inning, Angels still up 2-0. Do have a lead, but if you know anything about baseball, the games can just as easily get basically out of hand. Bottom of the fifth for the Astros side. Kikuchi, this one swung again, this time to the shortstop, but don't question me. I don't know if the shortstop's on the left or the right. But that another empty inning for Houston. And it's now still 2-0 as we're about halfway through the game. Angels doing a pretty good job at keeping this close and maintaining his lead as Bennett Souza comes in to pitch through the top of the sixth. For the Astros, a solid year, 2.8 ERA with a 1.3 whip or 1.03 whip. Mike Trout, that's a pitch to hit, and it dribbles to the third baseman. That's the first out of the inning. Trout does not have a hit as of yet in this game. He's the guy obviously we want to eye. Now here's Joe Adele, 0-1 pitch. That one's the hit, going down to the right side. That will be caught for out number 2. If that lands, that's probably a score. 2 out. That's a strong hit by Jorge Soler. That one will go deep by the warning track, but it is unfortunately caught. So Angels won't get anything else. Now Houston offense will come back from the field. The bottom of the lineup. We'll start with Jake Myers. It's off the middle, nice hit on the right side. It does land in front of the right fielder. So Myers with the base hit to open up the inning. Astros still need to get something going here. That's a good start. Now Cam Smith. That one high, that one deep left center. Play is made for out number 1. We got a trophy as well. That's gonna happen. This is alright. That's quite the grab, and got Yordan Alvarez. Doesn't have a hit yet. A sloppy pitch, which is gonna result in the runner heading to second. On a wild pitch, no potential double play. So Yordan Alvarez has a chance to get a run on the board. 1-0 count. This one hit hard, deep center, and it is gonna be caught by Trout. Near the warning track, that closes out the inning. Still nothing from the Astros through 6. So we're staying in it. The Astros bring in Brian King to pitch through this next inning. Another solid pitcher. Top of the 7th, then it will walk, so there's runners on first and second with 2 outs. So another chance for the Angels to put points on the board for Yoan Moncada, who does have a base hit in this game so far. He's 1 for 2. Another full count scenario. This one went the distance. 9 pitches, and at the end, this one will go straight rolling to the first baseman, and that will end at the top of the 7th. For the Astros, chance to put more points on the board, but they could not do so. So it still remains a 2-0 game. Now, no outs for the Astros. For Jose Altuve, swings at the first pitch. This one is going to land in front of right fielder again. A lot of hits going to the right side of the field. Now, the Astros with, yes, I can't see those. This one he hit deep into left center. That has a chance. It will go to the warning track, not grabbed. And Mike Trout will make the throw. The relay throw, no relay throw at all. So the Astros finally get points on the board with Isaac Paredes. So now it's a 2-1 ball game. The OT pitcher can use the new bear down pitch with Carlos Correa, and that one will get through for not even a swing. He looked right at it, and the 5th strikeout for Yusei Kikuchi in the game. Now a chance for us to get out of this jam. 2 outs, 1-2 pitch. This one will fly to the right side. It is caught. So at the end of the 7th, Houston does get 1 run, but that's all they'll really be able to get. So another switch by the Astros. Brian Abreu comes into the game to pitch through the top of the 8th. They're doing a lot of switching here. Yusei Kikuchi, for us, as far as I'm concerned, still remains in the game. As here's Mike Trout, and swings through the pitch that was his. That one could have gone beyond the seats. Instead, it is a strikeout, and it will be the same here for Christian Moore as he swung through. Those 2 straight outs for Abreu. And now here's Joe Adele trying to get something working here. He is 1 for 3. Does make contact, but it's going to roll. The enemy caught, the play is going to barely be made. But still nothing for the Angels. 5 hits for each team. Astros have a chance to tie this game potentially. Jake Myers, one of the few guys that does have a hit today. That's a high fastball that they rule a strike on the full count. Look at it again. This is going to be overturned. So Jake Myers and the Astros catch a break. So he will head to first on a walk. So not ideal for us. Smith to bat, swings through the pitch, misses. And that's out number 1. Kikuchi's playing pretty well. He's only allowed 1 run and 5 hits. He does have a few walks, but I can't cry too much about that. Now Jeremy Pena, the runner's going to test, and Myers will get to second with ease. Slowly based on the Houston side, preventing the double play from potentially happening. And an easier chance for them to score. Pena, this one is going to fly and be popped to the first baseman. That's the second out and no room for Myers to test the throw. It's not Jordan Alvarez. This is a scary at bat. We're going to show this one almost basically in full. As that one goes through for strike number 1. This is a very important at bat. We're going to show the whole thing, like I said. Pitch number 2. That one will be a ball on the circle change. 1-1 pitch now. This one is going to be fouled on the right side. So 1-2 pitch now for Kikuchi against Alvarez. And a swing and a miss on the slow pitch. There's another circle change. That was the pitch for Alvarez to hit. And that could have easily given them the tie or the lead. The game is still 2-1. Top of the 9th as we get through Chanel with a swing through on a terrible pitch, which ends the inning. Is 2-1. Order lineup for the Astros coming up. And a chance to potentially tie the game, send it to overtime or extra, or win. Kirby Yates is going to try to close this game out. Wasn't the greatest reliever slash closer. I mean, he only had 3 saves, so I wouldn't really call him a closer, really. But he is the closer for our team. First up, Jose Altuve, 0-1 pitch. He's going to swing into someone, not too much power, goes straight to Mike Trout for out number 1. Next is Isaac Paredes, who is the only one with the RBI so far for the Astros. That one's going to pop near the pitcher's spot. or outnumbered too. Not the greatest ball to hit. And essentially comes down to this. Yannier Diaz, can the Astros get it done, keep the game alive? We're going to try to bear down pitch again. I'm not going to do this all the time. I just wanted to use it. And he does get a nice hit. And Teodosio has to race for it. He does make the grab. And the game is over. The Angels will win on opening day 2-1. And I hope to be able to catch the music because I don't want to get copyrighted. but a good win to start the year off against one of the better teams in the American League. Not a lot of offense being played. Gucci with a strong game gets the win. Pitched through 8 innings. Not the prettiest outing, but also not the ugliest outing for Hunter Brown. But not a lot of offense being played. I think Christian Moore and Zach Neto were easily our 2 best players batting. Mike Trout couldn't buy a hit, but eventually that I think will come. Did have a storm is Bryce Teodosio and Kikuchi, like I said, pitched through 8 innings. He had a really good game. How many are he gonna have? Hopefully more to come. For the Astros, they did have Paradis with 2 hits. He was the only one that did score a run. He also was the only one with a double. I want to say this entire game, because I don't think he had anyone with a double, but I can't remember off the top of my head because my memory's that hazy. But they did have to go deep into their bullpen, and they were unfortunately losers in this game. That'll do it for the episode. That's the only game we're gonna play in this episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. We are gonna be more consistent, like I said, with the Madden and MLB content. I'm gonna try. I know I say it all the time, but this time really pushing for it. But I am gonna make more content of this. If you like the video, subscribe for more content. This has been Minnesota Mafia, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace out.